The rain was coming down in sheets, so I did the only sensible thing I could do. I ran for cover. I found myself on the porch of a crumbling old house. The wood beneath my feet felt warm, and I swore I could hear a faint, rhythmic sound like breathing. I couldn't quite make it out. Then the front door, which had been hanging off its hinges, slowly creaked open. I wasn't sure if I should be more afraid of the storm or whatever was in that house. But curiosity got the better of me, and I took a step toward the door. A sudden gust of wind pushed me forward, and the door swung shut behind me. I was in a dark hallway. I stood there for a moment listening to the breathing. It seemed to be coming from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Then I heard the distinct sound of footsteps. Heavy footsteps. They were coming closer. I turned and ran, stumbling over my own feet in the darkness. I could feel the floorboards groaning beneath me. I didn't dare turn on the lights. I didn't want to attract attention. I just kept running, following the sound of the rain as I made my way through the house. I burst out the back door and onto the lawn, making a mad dash for the safety of my car. As I looked back, I could see the faint outline of the house in the distance. The rhythmic breathing had started again, and then I heard it. A loud crash followed by what sounded like a voice. It was very faint, like it was coming from far away. But as I drove home, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. When I got home, I told my wife about the house. She thought it was just an old house that had settled. But I knew what I had heard. There was something in that house. Something that was alive. The next day, I went back to check it out. I walked up to the porch and knocked on the door. No answer. I tried the doorknob. It was unlocked. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The hallway was dark and dusty. I could feel the floorboards creaking beneath my feet. I walked to the end of the hallway and turned off the light. I wanted to see if I could hear anything. I stood there for a moment listening. All I could hear was the sound of my own breathing. Then I felt it. Something brushed against my leg. I jumped and turned around, but there was nothing there. I tried to convince myself that it was just a branch or a leaf, but I knew it was something more. I turned and ran, stumbling over my own feet in the darkness. I didn't want to stay in that house another second longer. I burst out the front door and onto the lawn. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. As I drove home, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. When I got home, I told my wife about what happened. She thought it was just an old house that had settled. But I knew what I had felt. There was something in that house, something that wanted me to leave.